Liza, maraming salamat.
Thank you po, Tito Boy.
Thank you for doing this interview.
Of course.
Paglabas ng vlog mo, I'm talking about a 14-minute vlog,
Mhm.
I reacted on my television show, Fast Talk with Boy Abunda. Ang kaibigan kong James Reed reached out. Nag-usap kami. We talked about the possibility of doing this interview,
Mhm.
which is happening right now. Ang dami nang nangyari. Ang dami nang nasabi. Right now, why did you decide to do this interview?
Um, Honestly, at first, ayoko po. I didn't want to do it because I didn't feel the need initially to further explain my thought process. But I started having feelings of regret kasi um, there were so many different interpretations of what I said, and I just felt the need to further explain myself because it was getting so noisy and so many different thoughts and opinions were coming in. So I felt like I needed to defend myself.
Pinag-usapan ng sambayanan yung pagtanggal mo, the takedown of the posts, YouTube and IG. Maraming mga hula. There were a lot of speculations as to what was happening. Some people were saying, ay, na-hack. How did you get uh, to that decision of taking down all the photos, all the posts?
Well, I was planning on how to kind of relaunch myself along with my team. And one common narrative that kept popping up is, me being in a relationship with Ken, no matter what it was that I was doing by myself, I was always associated with my love team. Like, people were constantly asking where was Ken in the picture and everything. And so I wanted to take down everything to kind of erase everything from people's minds for the time being before relaunching everything, all the new projects that I was working on, so that for the first time people would see me and just talk about me and nothing else.
Pero you realized na napakalaking risk.
Yes. I was kind of nervous about it before bago ko gawin, pero um, I knew that that was what was needed to start a conversation. And so,
And you achieved that.
yes, we achieved that.
Okay. I'll go to the vlog. Okay. After I saw it, my reaction was that I was disappointed because I felt parang bakit dinisregard ni Liza yung kanyang nakaraan. It's okay to rebrand, it's okay to redirect, but don't forget where you started because you got where you are because of the people who helped you because of everything that had happened. I remember saying, good or bad, got you to where you are today, and nothing is ever wasted. And then I said, journey in gratitude. Para sa mga fans, para sa mga managers, para sa mga taong sumuporta sa iyo. What was your reaction?
Na-hurt ako kasi feeling ko of all people, ikaw yung makakaintindi. Because, I see you as one of the wisest in the industries, and sa dami ng napagdaanan mo with different personalities, parang you always saw things for what they were. And parang ang paniniwala ko, your judgment isn't clouded by the noise of the media, by what the fans say. So parang I felt like misunderstood by you. But then nung nag-usap naman kayo ni James, he talked to me after and inexplain niya sa akin yung thought process mo about everything, and I understood your point. It really did make sense to me, and so yeah, that's why I wanted to have this conversation with you. But,
Right.
yeah, we can come
And
to terms.
thank you. And I wanted to share with you my thoughts. When an artist becomes bigger, the dynamics changes. When you became one of the biggest stars in this country, didn't the dynamics change? Hindi ka ba nakapagdikta, nakapagsabi na ito ang direksyon ko, ito ang gusto kong gawin, ito ang gusto kong puntahan? Didn't it happen that way?
I would say the power dynamics did shift a bit. Naranasan ko naman na I was given some right to kind of approve certain things that were going on in my career, but I was never empowered na mag-isip on on creating or sharing ideas of how I could bring my career, grow my career, or bring it into a different direction. Parang before, concepts, movie concepts, endorsements were always pitched to me, and they would give me their recommendations. And for me, nag-start po kasi ako na bata pa lang ako, and wala po talaga akong alam sa entertainment or showbiz. And all the knowledge that I have now and came from my experience growing up in showbiz. And so everything that I knew was based on what other people in the entertainment industry taught me and what the industry demanded from me. So even my perception of things was all dictated by what I grew up in, the environment I grew up in, and the experiences that I had. So yes, I may have made some decisions for myself. I may have agreed to doing certain things, but I wouldn't say that they were completely my own. Kasi I had fans to cater to. I had a family to provide for. I had people in the industry that I wanted to impress or make proud. And so I didn't grow up learning how to choose things for myself and really, deciding on what I want. It was always dictated by, would people think this is what's right for me?
Ang dating sa akin kasi ngayon, Liza, is that creatively, you wanted to do more. Oo, ipinipitch. Oo, sinasabi sa'yo. But in spite of hindi masyadong pinakikinggan ang boses mo pagdating sa creatives, am I getting it right?
Yes.
At what age was this? 16, 17?
When I started realizing na meron akong mga gustong gawin, when I started having kind of using my voice and asking for certain things, it didn't start till after I left Darna, actually. Pero
Which was what? Couple of years ago, mga
2019.
2019. Okay.
Yes.
So before that, tama ba ang pagkaunawa ko na ginagawa mo lang lahat ang sinasabi sa'yo?
Opo, kasi masunurin naman ako. And
Correct. Oo.
alam ko that everybody that was part of my journey, everybody that I worked with, Tito Oji, ABS-CBN, Ken, the management, they're all knowledgeable in what they do. They're all very experienced in showbiz.
At
and they know
ina-acknowledge mo yan na natulungan kanilang lahat.
Opo.
And up until 2019, nakikinig ka lang, pero hindi ka nagsasabing, hey guys, I'm thinking about certain things. Hindi pa.
Hindi po. Let me clarify this though.
Okay.
So, I started kind of, when I started really falling in love with acting, merong mga moments po, like sa taping. This is just in taping. This is not management level or anything. With the script, when I started like really understanding how acting works, started understanding character development and everything, meron pong mga times na I would talk to the director, I would talk to the PAs, I would talk to the writers and be like, sa tingin ko po, hindi sasabihin ng character ko to, hindi gagawin ng character ko to. And sometimes they would negotiate, like they would say, no, kailangan talaga ito yung mangyari para sa gantong trajectory ng character mo. Pero I didn't know that behind my back, actually a really close director friend of mine told me na they would talk about me behind my back during pre-prod meetings and call me little producer. And so ever since after that, parang I felt like I didn't have the right to bring these up kasi feeling ko na-offend ko yung mga tao sa paligid ko, which was not my intention. But I thought as an actor that was my job also to do, to question, to help improve the story, to be collaborative.
Didn't you raise this with management? Hindi mo ba kinausap si Tito Oji, ang Star Magic, your management na this is what's happening on set? Nagsumbong ka ba?
Nagsabi po ako kay Tito Oji, but then dahil hindi ko po masabi kung sino ang nagbibigay ng information sa akin na yun, we can't really do anything about it.
So you decided to just
stay quiet.
2019 was the year when you started to realize, I can have a voice. I mean, these are the things I want to do.
Yes.
And sa palagay mo, people perceived you as somebody not easy to work with.
Really?
That's my question.
I've never heard anything like that.
Wala naman.
Ang pagkakaalam ko, madali po akong katrabaho.
No, but in terms of reputation, because you were saying that some people would call you little producer,
Little
behind
producer.
your back. So
Yes.
in 2019, did you have that sense na dahil nga, you know, you were talking about ito yung trajectory ng character mo, ito dapat, hindi naman sasabihin to ng character ko. Did you create a reputation behind the off-cam na hindi madaling katrabaho si Liza?
Hindi po.
Hindi. So after you heard that feedback, you stopped, you backed off.
Yes. Kasi naisip ko baka ganun lang talaga.
Okay.
Ang showbiz. Like,
Okay.
I didn't know anything else beyond that. So, maybe, iniisip ko pa nga, maybe ako yung rude for questioning the creative's decisions.
Okay. But you were not happy.
It's not that I wasn't happy, but I also wasn't fulfilled.
Okay. And you wanted more.
Yes.
You wanted more participation. As you said, it was more creative participation na gusto mo sana.
Or I just wanted to feel heard or listened to.
You didn't push for it.
No.
Pero ito yung mga bagay na hindi mo inilaban ng gusto.
Takot po akong makaapak ng tao. Takot akong... I don't like disappointing people. I don't like creating enemies. And I'm a people pleaser. So, hindi ko kaya pag people feel bad, have bad feelings towards me.
I want to go to some parts of the vlog. I'd start with this quote. The pandemic was the first time in my life where I was allowed to stop and be still. This forced me to think. I didn't have a childhood, nor did I have the chance to grow and become an adult on my own terms. I've been working for 13 years, starting when I was only 12 years old. I had always been told what to do, what to wear, what to say, and what not to say. I know this was for my own good. It was to protect me and my career, but it was a career that I had no say in. A career that in many ways wasn't mine. I didn't even choose the name Liza. It was chosen for me. Isa-isahin natin. This sounds like a strong complaint.
For me, I was just stating facts. Lahat ng everything that I broke down, I was breaking down the journey, and so people understand where it is what point I am at in my life right now. I was literally just saying that I started as a child, so hindi po ako nagkaroon ng chance, pagkakataon na mag-grow into myself as an adult. I didn't get to experience things that normal kids get to experience because I started working at an early age, and hindi po normal yun. It's not a normal thing, but I'm sure there's a lot of people that can relate. Maraming bata na napilitang magtrabaho ng maaga para maging breadwinner para sa mga pamilya nila. And that's exactly what happened with me. Hindi ko po pangarap maging artista. I had to be an artista para mapaaral ko sarili ko, para mapaaral ko kapatid ko, para mabuhay ko yung family ko. And I think that's one thing na hindi alam ng maraming tao. I think that they assume na gusto kong maging artista ever since I was a kid, which is not true. Kasi it came out of a place, it came from need, a necessity. I needed to make money for my family. Yes, I admit, I agreed to everything that was happening because yun ang nakakabuti para sa akin. And this is not about what's right or what's wrong. It's just, I didn't get to grow up normally like other people. And I'm not complaining. I'm very grateful for everything that I experienced because dahil dyan, nakabili ako ng bahay para sa family ko here in the Philippines and for my grandparents that are living in the States. I'm so grateful for that kasi I was able to do things that at such a young age that I would have never been able to do if not for this job, if not for ABS-CBN, for Tito Oji, if not for Ken. Diba? Pero I just needed to state that I didn't get to become or discover myself on my own terms. I had to do it with the whole country looking at me and other people telling me what was good for me and what was not good for me.
Pinilit ka ba mag-artista?
And that's hard to answer. So, there's a little backstory to this. Nung 10 po ako, that's when I first came to the Philippines. May lumapit na po sa akin para mag-going bulilit. And me and my dad, John, the one that lives here in the Philippines, we had a really big fight. Kasi ayoko. I was a very shy girl. I was very boyish, didn't know how to speak Tagalog, and wasn't honestly expecting na magtatagal po ako dito sa Philippines. Akala ko babalik din po ako kagad sa States. Pero nagtagal po ako dito dahil nagkasakit yung lolo ko sa States. The ones that I call mommy and daddy, my parents. And hindi po nila ma-afford na ibalik kami ng kapatid ko sa States. And so, I was forced to work because I wanted to go back to the States.
Yun ang dahilan kung bakit pumasok ka sa pag-aartista. Pinilit ka ng pagkakataon.
Yeah.
Kasi doon nung pagkasulat mo, yung pagkagawa mo sa vlog, ang dating sa akin, parang hindi nga ako tinanong eh. Ang pangalan ko nga, Hope, ngayon Liza na. So it a bit sounded like a complaint, which now I'm starting to understand because what you're trying to say, no, I'm just stating a fact. Okay?
Yes po.
Pakipaliwanag yun, Liza. Are you grateful that your name is Liza?
I am. Kasi, ang gusto ko po, actually, I'm very grateful na meron akong Liza and meron akong Hope. Kasi, I feel like I have two different lives that I'm living, and I'm able to separate the two. I'm Liza as a professional actress, as a professional entertainer, as an advocate and everything. She's the persona that I have when I'm facing the public. But when I just want to be alone, when I want to be me, I'm Hope. When I feel like Hope carries my heart,
Okay.
but Liza carries, is just the face of Hope.
I get it. Kasi ang dating din noon was, I am not Liza, I am Hope. So, when Malu Santos's name came up as being responsible for giving you the name of Liza, parang nagmukhang wala kang utang na loob kay Malu Santos na nagbigay sa'yo ng pangalan.
Oh,
Di ba?
Yes.
Ganun ang dating.
Opo.
Oo. Now, it's clear, what you're trying to say is, I am glad. Am I right to understand
Yes.
that correctly now?
Actually.
I am Liza as a professional. I am Hope. I am Hope as a private person.
Yes. And alam naman po ng lahat ng tao sa industriya yun. Everybody on set na nakatrabaho ko ng super tagal, all these years, they call me Hope. Because that's how they know me behind the scenes. But publicly, when they're addressing me towards my fans, towards the media, they call me Liza.
Okay.
And they know that Liza and Hope are
All right.
two different people.
I know you were a kid when you were given that name. But if you had your way, Hope ba ang gagamitin mong pangalan?
I think so.
You would.
Yes. At
Okay.
the time, nag-yes po ako because, again, I thought that's what was best for me. And I still think it was what was best for me. I don't think I would have gotten anywhere near this if not for the name change. I believe everything happens for a reason. It happens because
Okay.
that's what's supposed to happen. And so, I think Liza is a beautiful name, and I'm glad that si Tita Malu yung nagbigay sa akin nun because she was one of the first people that really believed in me. And so, I have that, I have that memory to share with her, that whole process. Pero, yun, hindi naman po ako tinanong if I wanted to change my name. It was decided for me because they didn't think that Hope was a name for a star. That's basically what they told me.
And we can't argue against it because it worked.
Yes.
Minahal, tinangkilik, si Liza.
Opo.
She became a big star. So we can't argue against success. But now it's clear. Doon lamang sa I lost my childhood. I sacrificed my childhood. The argument against it, Liza, is you lost it, but you had to pay the price. And the price was being able to provide for the family. You became one of the most famous girls. You were at one point declared to be the most beautiful girl in the world. So yun yung kabayaran
Opo.
for that lost childhood. Do you have a better understanding of that now?
Yes po. Alam ko na, I mean, when I made that statement, I knew that.
You've
Naiintindihan
embraced
ko.
it.
I've embraced that ever since before. Because, of course, like I said kanina, I was already working while going to high school. And
Okay.
I already had like a disconnect with my group of friends kasi magkaiba na kami ng level ng maturity. Magkaiba kami ng views on life, and iba kami ng responsibilities. And because of that, whenever we would go out, whenever we would talk, I couldn't relate to them anymore. And I felt like I was missing out on so much. So much that they were able to do because they weren't living a life similar to me. And it's not bad. It's just a fact again. And I didn't get to experience a lot of things with my family, a lot of things that, normal teenagers get to experience. And so those are some things that you can't help but wish
Yeah.
you could have experienced, but I don't regret doing everything else, which was the cause for me not being able to experience.
I totally understand that. When you look back, you've lost, but you've won in a way. Do you regret? And if you regret anything, what is it?
I don't regret anything.
Okay.
Wala po talaga.
Buo yan tinatanggap mo.
Opo, buo ko yan tinatanggap.
Because it is important for us to understand that. Kasi pag buo na naiintindihan mo, wala kang sinisisi. You take full responsibility. You agreed to, lalo na nung naging 18 ka na, and you could decide things for yourself, tinatanggap mo ang lahat.
Yes.
Diba? You were told what to do, you were told what to wear, what to say. People would say, but you became a big star. And you accept that.
I agree.
Didn't you protest?
No, hindi po ako nagpo-protest. I thought that was what was right for me too.
Okay.
But then again, like I didn't get to develop my own style like everybody else, that isn't in showbiz gets to. I didn't get to kind of discover what it was that I like or dislike. I kind of just, lean towards whatever.
Moved with the flow.
Yeah, moved with
But
the flow.
as you said, it wasn't necessarily wrong.
It wasn't wrong. I'm not saying that.
And you are not also saying that you're not grateful to the people who packaged you the way they did. Because again, it worked.
Yes.
Okay? You talked about crossroads. Anong ibig sabihin ito?
It's a crossroad where there are people telling me what to say, what to do, and it's even the industry. It's what the industry demands. The
Expectations.
fans, the expectations of a leading lady, and then me, not even knowing what it is exactly that I want to do, but knowing that this also isn't completely what I want. It's a hard thing to explain kasi like I said again, as a kid, I didn't have the time na hanapin yung sarili ko, na i-discover yung mga gusto ko. So, I knew what was being presented to me wasn't completely me, pero hindi ko din alam kung ano yun. What is me.
Again, I go back to the success. It's okay. It worked. It's not okay because in retrospect, ang sinasabi mo, hindi mo na-explore yung mga ibang bagay that could have. But that's again, a creative idea level.
Yes.
Okay, so I get it. Without having to verbalize, in your vlog, you talked about your present management. Na pinili mo ang careless, ang careless management because for the first time, you had people actually asking you what you want. Claro yun.
Yes po.
The controversial issue there is what you didn't say, which is yung former management groups mo didn't ask you what you wanted. Am I reading it correctly?
Tama po.
Okay.
Meron po kasing formula, in
Okay.
showbiz that has been working for the longest time with
Okay.
all, the most loved and popular celebrities. And it's been proven and tested na effective siya. And that's why the management always knew what's best. They were always presenting. We had this thing called brand essence, where top researchers from the company would do an analysis of the essence of our being. And that would be presented to us. We think, and in that essence, basically, ang sinasabi nila, sa tingin namin, dapat ito yung mga gawin mo. Dapat ganito lang yung mga sabihin mo. Dapat ito yung advocacy mo. Dapat, what works best for our branding and why people love us. They give us a whole analysis and report on that. And so, and that's every year or every 2 years, they update that brand essence. And that was always being presented to us. I wasn't asked if this is what I wanted because it was the standard. It was what was being given to everyone.
Did you disagree with your brand essence?
Hindi po. Kasi, again, wala namang mali dun sa brand essence
Okay.
na yun. Walang mali, and it actually helped me. It helped me become the Liza Soberano that everybody knows and loves.
But what was your wish in the context of the brand essence?
That it could have been a collaborative process. That it could have been a process na uupo kami and they ask me, how do you want to be known? Who
Okay.
do you want to be? Where do you want to go?
Brand essence, ang pagkakaunawa ko ay it's research driven. This is what people are looking for now. This is who you are. In the context of public perception, base sa iyong personalidad, base sa hinahanap ng tao. What you're saying now is it helped you, but you wanted more participation in that brand.
Yes po.
Let's go to a talk about money. Who were your managers? I mean, let's not talk about your present management setup.
Tito Oji, Tita Joni, she's my dad's cousin, first cousin, and Star Magic. So
Okay.
3 po.
Ang kwento, your tita introduced you to Oji.
Actually,
What is the story?
meron pa pong iba. There's a man named Dudu Unay. He sadly passed away a few months ago.
Okay.
He was actually the one that discovered me. Ang Tita Joni ko po ang nag-start sa akin in my modeling career at 12. So,
Ito yung mga VTR.
yeah, mga VTRs
Okay.
for commercials,
Alright.
for print ads.
Did you get jobs with your tita Johnny?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
And then at one of the brands that, for one of the brands that I was working with, there was an agent named Dudu Unay. And siya yung naka-discover sa akin. So, he's known as the discoverer of Liza Soberano. Siya po ang nag-introduce sa akin kay Tito Oji. And from Tito Oji, kumukuha din po siya ng commission hanggang sa natapos po yung contract ko. But it was coming from Tito Oji's commission.
So, ang managers mo, aside from Dudu, became Oji,
Oji, Tita Joni,
Tita Joni,
and Star Magic.
and Star Magic.
Yes.
Can you talk about commissions para klaro lamang? I mean, is it okay?
Yes. I really don't like talking about commissions because it's a private financial matter.
Okay.
And
No, let me explain where I'm coming from. May nabasa ko na nagpapaliwanag na 40% hindi naman daw, 20% lang. I saw a post. So it's something that has become public.
yeah.
That's where I'm coming from. I'm sorry.
Yes. No,
Okay,
no,
go
no,
ahead.
It's okay. Yes, nakita ko din po yun sa Twitter. I think people were accusing Tito Oji of taking 40% from me. I want to clarify na hindi din po yun totoo. It started off, so I started with him at 12. And then up until I was, I believe, 2015 or 2016, which was when I was 17, 30% po yung commission niya sa akin. My Tita Joni was taking 20%, and Star Magic was taking 10%.
When was this?
2015 or 2016, sorry.
From the time you started until about 2015. So, pwede kong ulitin, 30% si Oji, 20% si Tita Johnny,
Yes.
and 10% ang Star Magic. That's 60%. Ang 40% napupunta sa iyo.
Was for me.
And then,
But
what happened?
eventually, because I also pay U.S. taxes alongside my Philippine taxes because I'm a U.S. citizen and a Filipino citizen. So my total take home was around 30%. And so my Tita Joni started feeling bad for me that was the situation. So nag-usap po sila ni Tito Oji na bawasan na lang yung commissions nila for me because they felt like I deserved more since I was putting in a lot of work. And so eventually naging 20% na lang po si Tito Oji. And si Tita Joni naging 15%. Tas yung bawas niya was after Tito Oji would take his commission.
And Star Magic.
And Star Magic was still at 10%. Pero ang Star Magic po, hindi kumukuha ng commission if it's money coming from ABS-CBN. So, ang money po galing sa teleseries, sa movies, hindi po sila kumukuha ng commission. It's just from endorsements. It's sad because these are things that shouldn't be discussed.
That's right.
These are private financial matters. These are things that are in our contract that we're not supposed to be discussing. So, I honestly don't know why this is...
It's out now.
Yeah, it shouldn't have been.
So if it's out now, importante na tama at klarong ang paliwanag.
Yes po.
You never complained.
I never complained because yun po ang nasa kontrata.
And you felt it was fair.
Yes.
Do you have a better financial arrangement than Careless?
Yes.
Because?
Because my only manager right now in the Philippines is Careless, and they're taking the same amount that Tito Oji was taking, and I have no one else taking anything from me. So my total take home now is 80%, which I think is fair. Before, my original setup when I was taking home 40% without minusing the taxes and everything, I honestly felt that that was a little unfair. Kaya napag-usapan yung
Okay.
bringing down the percentages, because yes, they were working for me. Marami din pong ginagawa. Si Tita Joni, she served as my RM/PA at the time. So, siya po talaga nag-a-assist po sa akin sa taping, sa lahat ng schedule ko, kasama ko siya. And, nung una, ang gusto niyang mabawasan si Tito Oji because hindi po siya pumupunta sa taping, hindi po siya pumupunta sa endorsement shoots. He would book the jobs for me.
He was negotiating.
He was negotiating. So she felt it was fair for him to lessen his commissions. But then they ultimately agreed na pareho na lang sila.
At napag-usapan ito ng mabuti.
Napag-usapan po ng mabuti.
Oo.
And that carried out from 2015 till present.
Alright. Nabasa ko rin na in the last 2 years, correct me if I'm wrong, ay hindi na kumukolekta ng komisyon si Tito Oji mo. Is that right? Is that wrong?
It's not right. That's incorrect.
So, hindi totoo ang balitang ito?
It actually hurts me that he's making up those lies about me because... Sorry. I feel like he's trying to make it seem like I wasn't profitable in the past 2 years that we were working together, when he knows the truth. He knows my pains. He knows the things that I felt were the things that were mishandled and stuff like that. So it's kind of unfair that I feel like he's trying to tarnish my name. And he knows, like, I don't want to bring this up, but he still gets commissions from some of the endorsements of mine, like, that still fell under the time that I was under contract with him, even though he has no more obligations. We told him that he has no more obligations towards me in those endorsements. Literally last month, we gave him a paycheck for an endorsement that was renewed before our contract ended. And kahit na wala na po siyang ginagawa for that, we gave him his commission, because that's what's right. I wouldn't breach my contract.
So that was the last time you paid commission to your Tito Oji?
He's going to get another one this week.
Okay. I'm sorry to have asked you that question.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm sorry. May tampo ka kay Tito Oji mo?
Hi, people of the Philippines and people of the world. Hit the button below and you will be subscribing to the Boy Abunda Talk channel on YouTube. Let's keep talking. Kaibigan, tuloy ang usap.